So in this short video we are just going to do a couple of visualization exercises just to create a little bit of micro movement through the body, particularly looking around the pelvis and also into the sort of coccyx area, and then a little bit of work at the wall, also just very small movements just to try and free up that lower back area and in and around the pelvis as well. So we're going to start just with finding a parallel placement of our feet, so about fist distance apart, somewhere like that. Just find a comfortable placement there. We'll take the focus into the body, and just to start with, what I really want you to think about is the lovely ribbons that they use in gymnastics. We want to feel that our coccyx is one of those, and we're going to try and get a little circular motion with it, and then a nice fluid figure of eight motion as well. So that's what I want you to have in mind when we come to it. And then our third visualization will be imagining our coccyx as if it was a sheet on a washing line on a nice breezy, gently breezy day, and that sheet is just going to move forwards and backwards. And what you might feel is that the body starts to respond in these movements, and you do find a little bit of movement, but like I say, it will be tiny. So we're just going to close our eyes for a moment, drop into the body, think of the feet just dropping down into the earth, think of gently lengthening up through the crown of the head. Focus into the breath, think of that nice three-dimensional expansion of the rib cage into the sides, into the back of the body. Just have a little scan through the body, make sure you're not holding any tension in any areas. So slightly soft through the knees. Make sure the toes aren't gripping. Make sure the jaw is relaxed as well. And if it helps, you can just bring the hands onto the front of the hip bones if you would like to. So just taking our attention down to the coccyx or tailbone, and like I say, we want to think of that nice rhythmic movement as if our coccyx was a gymnastics ribbon, and we're just going to circle around there. So really be very mindful of that area. Bring the attention to the bony structures, and that will influence the surrounding tissues. And then we go back in the other direction, and you might find that it's easier to go one way rather than the other. We're going to change direction again, but this time we're going to take it into our little figure of eight. So it's a side to side figure of eight movement with that gymnastics ribbon. See how that feels, just tapping into that bony structure and just noticing if the body just starts to move very slightly in response to those movements. And then back in the other direction again. And then just take your attention again to the coccyx, but now we're going to imagine it's a sheet just gently blowing on a washing line in a breeze. So just moving forwards and backwards, just very gently. And again, this movement, visualization of the coccyx can impact the surrounding tissues. And then just allow that to settle. Open your eyes, and now we're going to do a little bit more actual movement through the body, but keeping it small, and we're going to work from the ground up. So to start with, I'd like you just to roll your feet to the little toes, and then roll towards the big toes. And again, if you bring the hands in and around the pelvis and the hips, you're going to feel that little bit of movement of the thigh bones just turning in the hip sockets. And you might find that there's more available movement one side to the other, and that's absolutely fine. But and you might find that the feet start to move a little bit as well. And a few bones are starting to make some noises there, just getting the joints moving. Lovely, good. And then just settle the feet and keeping the feet nicely planted. So we're not lifting the heels, we're not lifting the balls of the feet. We can bring one hand to the tummy, the other hand to the breastbone. We're just going to transfer the weight towards the balls of the feet as you do feel like you're slightly lengthening through the body. And then we bring the weight back into the heels, and as we do, just soften the knees, soften the spine. So it's finding that gentle length and expansion as you come towards the balls of the feet and then coming back towards the heels. And you can do these exercises again with the eyes closed if you feel comfortable with that, but otherwise just working with the eyes open. Make sure that you feel stable with what you're doing. So just forward and backwards, finding that length as you come forward, softening through the body as you come back towards the heels. Come back to that neutral position, and now we're going to take the weight to the lateral side of one foot, so to the little toe. Find the big toe on that foot, find the other big toe, find the other little toe. So it's a shift from side to side, but really work through those points in the feet. Little toe to the big toe, to the other big toe, at the same time lengthen out through the crown of the head to the other little toe. So we're moving again from the ground up. And you can keep the hands positioned where they are, or you can just allow them to rest, or rest onto the hips, wherever's comfortable for you. Come back to centre. Now we're going to take it into a circle. So we're going to go to the balls of the feet, to the outer edge of one foot, back into the heels, to the outer edge of the other foot, and back to the balls of the feet. So again, moving from the ground up, and the rest of the body just follows. As we circle here, really try and feel that sense of length and expansion through the body up towards the ceiling. So you're going down through the feet, but you're lengthening up and out of the body as much as you can. And then just changing direction once more. Keep the feet nicely planted. So sometimes we may go a little bit bigger with our movements than we anticipate. So just go carefully there. Keep the feet nicely connected to the ground. And then changing the direction back into a figure of 8. So we're going to go from the heel to the little toe, cut across to the opposite heel to the little toe, and then the body will really start to create a nice sort of spiraling movement. So heel to the little toe, cut across to the opposite heel to the little toe, and just, like I say, allow the body to follow. And then take it back in the other direction. So little toe to the heel, cut across to the little toe to the heel. And again, allow the body just to follow that movement. But again, the feet are staying nicely planted. It's just a transfer of weight. You should feel movement into the feet and into the ankles and through the rest of the body. And you can make that a little bit more generous if you wish to. Opening up into the rib cage a little bit more perhaps if you want to there. Lovely, good. And then just come back to that place where you're just nicely grounded through the feet, finding that sense of length out through the body. And then from there, we're just going to come to do a little bit of work facing the wall. So having the body parallel to the wall, the hands are going to be just in front of the line of the eye gaze. Again, soften the knees a little bit. And here again, we can use a little bit of visualization. I want you to imagine that you've got a hula hoop around your waist, and you're just going to take it into a little circle now of your pelvis to get that hula hoop moving. So soft knees, relax through the shoulders, relax through the jaw. Again, the feet might move in response to this movement. Take it back in the other direction. So now we're really looking at opening up in and around that lumbar area. And now a figure of 8. So from side to side, like we did through the feet, little figure of 8 movement. You could think of it almost like a little salsa-y type movement. The weight will transfer through the feet, but our intention now, or our focus, is really moving from the pelvis. And back the other way again. So again, let the rest of the body just follow. And now change direction once more, but think of that figure of 8 coming from the rib cage. So the pelvis is still going to move, but we're making it a little bit more generous again, thinking that we're opening up again into those lateral sides of the rib cage. Finding that sense of space there, that fluidity to our movement. And then reverse direction once more. See how that feels for you. And then just settle the pelvis, soften your knees just a little bit more, and now just finding a little bit of length through both sides. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, and the eye gaze is going to glance down towards the toes. We just soften through the body and then lengthening away. So it's a little standing cat, tuck the tail curling in and then lengthening away. And again we curl in and we lengthen. So you might take the breath in and the breath out as you lengthen. So just find the breathing pattern, hopefully as you have throughout, as it feels right for you. Last one there. And then just let the arms rest, and that's all done. And I hope that's been a helpful session just to gently get things moving for you.